Hello everyone and welcome back to my little corner of the internet. So to all of you new subs from last video, thank you for subbing. I could never have expected that video to hit the algorithm like it did, let alone for me to double my sub count from it. Absolutely insane, and thank you, actually thank you to each and every single one of you. Okay, so anyways, as the title says, we're going to be reading my YouTube comments today from my other video, the Tarkov in 2025 video. There was so many comments, and it gave me an idea of just reading the comments because, like, well, it's Tarkov, and 1.0 is around the corner, and I like discussing about Tarkov. Out of my friend group, I have friends that do play the game, yes, but, like, I am the one that probably invested the most amount of time. Granted, it's all in PvE, but like I'm the one that invested the most amount of time out of my friend group into this game. So here I am, deeply in love with Tarkov and the lore of Tarkov and everything about it. So, you know, here is my course of discussion with people that have similar interests as much as I do. So with that, we're just gonna jump right into reading the comments. I'm not gonna waste your time anymore. And as you can see, I did just leave a comment on the video not too long ago, just kind of responding to all of the love and feedback I've gotten on the video and all the comments, whether negative or positive, but you know, thank you still either way. I could never again have expected this video to pick up as much traction as it did. I also pointed out that I will be making the video on Tarkov's AI. Do not worry, that will be happening. I don't know when exactly. I do live a pretty busy life, so if my videos are very infrequent, I just had the time to make this one because it's pretty quick and easy to just read YouTube comments and talk about it. So, you know, here we are. So I should be able to get this up by tomorrow, which will be the 14th. So if you're seeing this, I did my job right. I got it done in time. If you're not seeing this until after that date, well, shit, you know, it is what it is. I will be making the video on Tarkov's AI. I do have a lot of feelings about it, but you know, with 1.0 being literally 2 days from the day of recording, I want to get some videos for 1.0 PvE done. And then after that, I have to reinstall SPT. And because SPT is a big catalyst as for why I want to make the video about Tarkov's AI, because, you know, obviously there's the sane AI mod in SPT, but, you know, well, I'll get to that when that video happens. So when this video originally popped off, I was asleep, bro. This popped off overnight for me. So I want to point out to Star Sanu, you were the first comment that I saw when I woke up the next day, and I want to just say thank you for leaving a very positive comment. You literally made my day that morning. But Star Sanu said, congrats on the video getting recommended to the Escape from Tarkov sphere. Thank you, I appreciate it. Having sunk 900 hours into the base game and a subsequent probably extra 1,000 hours into SPT, this is a great video. And I just want to say thank you. You know, there's nothing more to really elaborate on there, but thank you for watching the video, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Next comment from Marwall, best documentary I've ever seen. This is one of my IRL homies. Actually, go sub to him. He is currently learning how to produce his own music, and I will be helping shoot some videos for him, so go follow his socials. He's the boy, and I would appreciate it. This next comment is from Blake Cinema, best documentary I've ever watched. Also one of my boys. He's just there to help out in the background. He does a lot of behind the scenes stuff to help me and Marwall up there. So again, shout out to the boy. Blake doesn't make any content himself, but he's the boy. Keep him in your head and just know that he's the GOAT. This next comment is from Dino Boy 2501. This was as good as any Tarkov video I've watched here, and I have roughly 1,500 hours in the game. I'm a PvP only, won't even click on PvE type, and I had no issues watching this even after you mentioned being a PvE main for years. Seems like a weird thing to say, but I hope you understand what I mean. Drop a sub and I'll be back for more videos. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you enjoyed the video despite it being PvE gameplay. But I understand where he's coming from with this, and this is like one of those comments that I wanted to elaborate on a little bit, as I actually did leave a reply saying I get where you're coming from. It's definitely difficult to make PvE content engaging because the raids are definitely less alive compared to PvP, but I'm glad you enjoyed the video. And that is the point I do want to elaborate on. Yes, PvP content, when it comes to watching Tarkov content, I watch PvP content creators, Sheaf, Willers, Landmark, etc. PvP content is definitely the most engaging and entertaining form of Tarkov content for sure. Just I'm not someone that is willing to sit down and dedicate my life to Tarkov PvP because there's just better things to do with my time, and honestly, I'm someone that's much more immersed into the world of Tarkov, and yes, playing against real players would be much more satisfying in terms of kills, but Tarkov for me is a game that I love to just kind of sit back and chillax on, you know what I mean? Yes, I'm still paying attention to not die, but for me, it is definitely much more relaxing for me to play it and just take it at my own pace that way. I do wish that Tarkov, or that PvE had the element of just like surprise, because a lot of what you go through in your raids on PvE definitely feels very just systematic, you know? There's not too much difference between each raid. There is, but there's not as much as there would be in PvP. You know what I mean? Either way, to those who still do enjoy some PvE content, I will be making PvE content, don't worry. As someone that loves Tarkov as much as I do, and I only play PvE, of course, I'm gonna make PvE content. Now, with all that said, I don't want to dissuade people from watching PvE content. PvE content can still be very funny. The creator just has to know how to make it right and make it entertaining in the right way. I think Mr. Shmup is a great example of this. He's a really, really good PvE content creator. I've been watching a lot of his videos lately. He seems like a really good guy. I enjoy his videos and they're entertaining, so go check him out. I'm not exactly sure how to say this next username, but I'm gonna say BearBerry753. He said, surprised his videos doesn't have more views, didn't even realize until he has to get to 200 subs. Great content. Thank you, appreciate it, man. Your comment means a lot to me. Thank you. The slideshow that ensues while you're around Beluga in the mall always cracks me up, from Winters4629. Yeah, dude. When I was editing that video, I realized that the streets raid I had recorded in the background wasn't going to be long enough, and a lot of the gameplay wasn't going to be interesting enough to put onto the background. So I kind of decided to just do that little slideshow tidbit showing what I mean literally on screen, for example. And also I was going over the more basics stuff for people that were new to Tarkov anyways, so I figured it might be better for them to literally see what I'm talking about instead of just trying for them to imagine it in their head. But that is basically why I structured the video like that, and a lot of it after that is just kind of me talking with subtitles. That's the only reason that whole little slideshow event is just in there in the video, to be honest. And next comment is from ZLA3031. Look, I've never played Tarkov in my life, but when I see a new Tarkov content creator I watch, I like and sub. It's that easy. Now I see the gaming PC. It means the world to me that you subscribed and enjoyed the video. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. As for the gaming PC, bro, you got it. I believe in you. Just keep saving up your money, grind your ass off, and you'll get there. I promise. I don't even know how to say this next username, but it's from this guy, 1027. He just says that I really, really, really hope 1.0 is not going to be disappointing. I'll be honest with you, bro. It probably will be if you're not hyped for the lore of Tarkov. If you guys haven't seen, by the way, Pestily did do an interview with Nikita just yesterday, I believe, as of recording this. So I'll go leave a link for the interview with Nikita down below for 1.0. Go watch it. Nikita does ramble a little bit, but it's really, really, really nice to hear Nikita be passionate and his decision and thoughts behind him doing things the way he does. I think some people need to see that side of Nikita a little bit more. But anyways, I'm ranting a little bit. Basically, Nikita said in that interview that all that 1.0 is really bringing is the story. A lot of the other stuff in Tarkov is still going to be the same. Some quests were reworked and rebalanced a little bit, and they added some new quests. For the most part, Tarkov is going to be the same old Tarkov that we know, just with the added bonus of having a story quest to follow behind and get more lore on Tarkov. And this next comment is from O Pringle O. I've never watched a video from someone who had less than 200 subs that was more well put together. Earned a sub on that merit alone. Thank you. Appreciate you. Those words mean a lot to me. Thank you very much. Tarkov is the only extraction shooter that plays on your paranoia as much as it does. The psychological damage from playing this game goes deeper than a lot of others. This is true, and this is basically the point that I was trying to make. Playing on that paranoia is a great way of saying what I was trying to say about the feel and atmosphere of Tarkov. Just the fact that it plays on the paranoia so much is what makes Tarkov so great, and I'm glad that you were able to take that away from my video, because that is essentially what I was trying to talk about. Water23, not gonna lie, when I was watching this, I thought I was watching someone with hundreds of thousands of subs. You deserve more. These are great videos. Thank you. Appreciate it. I assume you've only watched the one video, because to be honest, I think a lot of my older content on this channel is not very good, but thank you. I appreciate your words, and I will do my best to keep making some better content for you guys. Next comment is from Amora. Nice trick shot clip, bro, with the Prestige 9.2, extra style points. Thank you for shouting out the NW2 clip. Appreciate you. I'm glad you watched it that far. That clip is so old, I don't even think the clip is really that good, but it's the only clip I had on hand on my computer. So either way, I'm glad you like the trick shot, bro. Real one for knowing the NW2 days, bro. All right, did a quick little outfit change because it got really hot in my room in my hoodie. So now we're just rocking the Grizz Pejmina, because I just went to go see Grizz a couple weeks ago in Chicago. But anyways, that's besides the point. Next comment is from Justarine812. I don't know if I'm saying your username right. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I'm going off of what I see here, man. He said, literally took the words out of me. Great job, and can't wait for the AI video of EFT, and also fellow PvE player and SPT as well. W, good man. I respect the SPT. PvE is okay in its own, but SPT players, hey, I respect you guys. I fuck with you guys. And like I said earlier, the AI video will be coming. Just give me a little bit of time, okay? okay, guys. Dylan Hughes, keep up the grind, brother. I will. I promise. I'm doing my best. It's just gonna take me time to get these videos out because, like I said, I just live a busy life. I'm a small YouTuber and I do everything on my own. And I'm still figuring out a good way to structure my videos, but I will keep up the grind. I hope you stick around and watch a couple more videos. And yeah, thank you for the support. Appreciate it. Pork Soda, very good video. Got a new subscriber. Keep it up. Again, thank you. Means the world. Appreciate you. Krutor Crudy, I think he says greatest FPS of all times. Yeah, I think you want to work on your spelling there, brother. But yes, I do think Tarkov is a great FPS. Is it one of the best FPSs of all time? It's up for debate, I think. But ultimately, that is such a subjective feeling and opinion. So, you know, I'm not going to say you're right or wrong because in reality, there is no true right answer. It depends on the person. I don't even know where to begin with your username, man, but thank you for commenting. There is no such good feeling in a video game other than Tarkov when it comes to surviving. This I agree with. Yes, ABI can also get very tense, and I imagine Arc Raiders can also get very tense. In Tarkov, bro, when you're limping to extract and you got like 2 limbs keeping you alive, it's hard to beat that feeling. It's so hard to beat that feeling. 300 Blackout, good name, but I have a feeling you only use the MCX in Tarkov. He says Tarkov didn't birth extraction shooters. Tarkov is the extraction shooter. Every other game that tried to replicate Tarkov failed or ended up irrelevant. I think you're missing the point a little bit. Tarkov was the first extraction shooter developed. Therefore, I'm birthing the genre. Am I missing something? Every other game that just tried to replicate Tarkov failed or ended up irrelevant. I disagree. I think Arena Breakout is pretty successful for what it is. And granted, they already had a successful mobile game to begin with before developing it for PC. So I think Arena Breakout is quite successful in a comparison to Tarkov. But games like Arc Raiders and Gray Zone Warfare, I think, are just a little too different from the gameplay loop of Tarkov to really count them under the same umbrella as Tarkov. Like, yes, they're still within the extraction shooter genre, but in terms of a direct comparison, Arena Breakout, I think, is the only game that can really go into a direct comparison with Tarkov because the gameplay loop is just like almost one-to-one the exact same, almost. Next comment is from Mentos or my friend Colton. Don't ever be sorry, dad jokes are on top. Thank you, Colton. I'm glad you appreciated the dad joke. You're a real one. Colton also sometimes makes my thumbnails, and he himself makes his own great content. Go sub to him. Check him out, please. He's a hysterically funny guy. Next comment is from Hero Wolfgang. I only play PvE now, primarily swapped it out due to some incredibly bad experiences with some people in PvP that I was helping out. Sounds like you got a classic story of betrayal. That sucks. I'm sorry, because that definitely doesn't feel good. Haven't gone back since. Don't blame you. I think people should play at their pace. I'm not going to hate someone that plays PvP. Thank you. I don't know why PvP players and PvE players are just going at each other's throats all the time. We're playing the exact same game, guys. We just have different ways we want to play it. Simple as that. I don't know why the PvP and PvE debacle is such a fucking big issue. I've also been using Tarkov to deaden my reactions to loud sudden noises due to PTSD. It's been working. I don't mentally shut down anymore and I'm able to have fun. I'm very sorry you deal with PTSD. I could never even imagine what that's like, but I'm glad that you found a way to cope and help alleviate whatever you deal with from it. So I'm glad that Tarkov was able to do that for you somehow. This video got recommended to me and I liked the video, so have a sub. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. And keep living about your days, and I pray you have a good rest of your life, you know? Manukian, I don't know if I said that right, but I'm hoping I did. After Tarkov, I can't play any other games. I would like to say don't only play Tarkov. There's a lot of other great games out there. Like, just recently, I completed the game Stellar Blade, and I would say absolutely check the game out if you are interested in Souls-likes and hard games and single-player games. Absolutely great game, 10 out of 10. Tarkov is great. Don't get me wrong, and I have spent countless hours inside of Tarkov myself, but please do not forget the existence of the rest of the gaming genre out there. There are so many other great games that are deserving of your time. Please play other stuff other than just Tarkov. At Swift89 says, I really want to get into Tarkov, but learning this game as a new player in 2025 seems like a pointless struggle. Everyone you come across has 6K hours of the game and knows every pixel of the area. I would say to you, Mr. Swift, buy the standard edition if you don't own the game and go install SPT. All you need for SPT is a copy of the game that you bought from the Battlestate website. or I guess Steam might work now. You know, get the standard edition of the game. I know it's still pricey, it's about $50, but get that and then go install SPT for free, and you can get all the mods for free. It's a great way to learn the game. It's a great way to experience the game, and I would say just do that to really get the thrill and joy of experiencing Tarkov for the first time. This next comment is from Ice-T3347. I think Tarkov is a mix of Stockholm Syndrome, and it's a very bold game that is willing to alienate the player base every single time. BSG keeps the players on its toes with its bullshit. There is literally no game like EFT. Any comparisons to other extraction shooters is a pale imitation to Tarkov and is another league of its own. Yes and no. Like I said, I think the only direct comparison that we can make to extraction shooters would be Arena Breakout, because it is a near one-to-one of Tarkov, but the fact is Tarkov has just been developed for way longer and is just way more in depth. There's so much more depth to Tarkov than Arena Breakout, and this is what hugely separates the two games. I think people need to realize that there is so much more depth to Tarkov than Arena Breakout, and this is what separates them. Tarkov, League of Legends, War Thunder, like I can list out 3 games and people can immediately see the comparison I'm making here. Toxic, grindy, difficult games. I've never played League and I've never played War Thunder, so I'm not sure, but I'll take your word for it. Fun at times, not so much fun at other times, yet people still play the hell out of these games. To me, these are like true gamer games. We spend so much damn time playing it not out of the pure enjoyment and pleasure, but because we are so committed to the grind and suffering that comes along with a rewarding progression of a good-ass raid. I see what you're saying. Yes, by your definition of gamer games, yes, you're not wrong. Tarkov definitely is a gamer game. Tarkov is definitely a game meant for the people that are committed to the grind and committed to the emotional investment that they're willing to make and put themselves through. I see your point, and I like your comment. I'm actually gonna give that a thumbs up. W comment. Hi Stormy, hello cat. I'm getting bombarded in the middle of my video here, but that's okay. This next comment comes from Alexander Ross, and he says the PvP is chef's kiss in Tarkov, and I will have to agree with that, like 100%. Decisions have real consequences in this game. The maps are chef's kiss. I do want to give credit to BSG's map design team, or level design team, whatever they're called. Their maps. Yes, chef's kiss, top tier. The guns and the immersion and the sheer amount of punishment and reward makes this game like heroin. Why would you know what that comparison is like? You know the game is good because we all have thousands of hours in the game despite cheaters, optimization, and dogshit load times. It is the game, and it's not going anywhere. The Feast of Timmy's when it launches on Steam will be glorious. We have found the 10,000 hour Andy. But no, he's not wrong. The fact that so many people are willing to still sit here and wait through like 10-minute queue times and shitty optimization and just to wait 10 minutes to die to a cheater, and we still play this game. It is a feat. It is a feat. And that was a cat tail in my mouth. But it is a feat that's not easily accomplished for gamers to be so committed to a game despite so many glaring issues with it. I hope you PvP enjoyers will enjoy the Feast of Timmy's when the Timmy's from Steam does inevitably load into Tarkov. This next comment comes from Ivan. I don't know the rest of that, but it's fine. In Tarkov, 1,000 hours is a noob. This is true. This is true. In Tarkov, 1,000 hours is still very noob numbers, which is absolutely insane to me, but that quite literally says just how much of a dedicated grind Tarkov really is. There's very few games I can think of that I could say the same thing about. I think the only other one that I could say for myself that I have played is probably Final Fantasy XIV. That's also like a straight up MMO. So there's, a bit of a disparity there. This next comment comes from ZMMJ, Duckov over Tarkov. At least I think that's what that sign means. I forget. I haven't been to school in like 8 years. Give me a break. It's just a comment to feed the algo. Promise. Thank you for feeding the algorithm, bro. Appreciate you. For Duckov, I haven't seen actually too much on it. I know the game came out and I know a lot of people loved it. Don't really know how the game's doing now though, because I haven't seen too much on it since its release, but I knew people fucked with it, so I might check it out. If you guys want me to check it out for a video, let me know. And this next comment comes from a river system. Another huge issue is how awful the quests are designed. Genuinely some of the worst design I've ever seen, and I think if they worked on that, they could make an already quite unique game so much better. So many quests are incredibly boring and or grindy or just frustrating. This I do agree with. Kind of wish I brought this point up on this video. It just kind of skipped over my head. I made this whole video in 3 days because I was trying to rush it out before 1.0 hit. So I didn't really sit there writing the script genuinely giving it a shit ton of thought. I basically typed out what I was thinking about saying, and that kind of just became the final draft. But I do agree with this. The quests are a huge issue in Tarkov. I do think that their quest design needs a lot of work, and I think that they need a bit more variety in the type of quests that you're doing. As for what, I'll have to kind of sit here and think about it a little bit more, but You know, just the fact that you're only going down to really place markers, be in a location for 2 seconds, or just go eliminate people. There needs to be a little more variety than just those 3 things. As for the grindiness of it, as someone that enjoys the grindy games, I don't really care about it that much, but some of these quests are a little too grindy, I do agree. Like killing 50 rogues and 50 raiders takes a lot of time, man. You just run labs over and over again, but still, those labs raids take a lot of time and a lot of money. A lot of money. Or just play reserve, but then you have to deal with the issue of getting out of reserve. So, either way, that quest takes a long time and a lot of money. This next comment is from Slaskos, and he made a whole fucking college essay. Not really, but it may as well be in comparison to YouTube comments. He says that the problem with Tarkov PvP is cheaters, or the perception of cheating because of the game bugs, desyncs, and netcode. Sometimes it looks like people are killing you behind cover. You shoot a whole magazine into a person, but the server thinks you have no bullets, so clients shows you hits, but the server ignores them. And people are visible 1 to 5 seconds after they see you because they are moving faster / peeker's advantage. And if you encounter a cheater every 100 raids, then every 10 you encounter desync, and you feel like every other raid has a cheater, they just did not find you or cared because you have bad loot, etc. There's also plenty of the I use cheats to avoid other players that shoot only when there's no other choice. I agree with this. He brings up a lot of very good points. And these are all things that I am very aware of myself that I just didn't go into detail about in this video, because to be honest, this video was already quite long enough, and I didn't get to the main point of the video until the last like fucking 5-6 minutes of it. So I was rambling a little too long about the negatives of Tarkov. I kind of agree looking back at that, but that's why I'll be mainly PvE when 1.0 releases to enjoy the whole game, and after that maybe start PvP once I know all the maps and loot hotspots. This is again, great reason to play PvE. PvE is a great way to learn the game, and also it's meant for you to just play it at your own pace. So good for you, man. I really hope you enjoy Tarkov and you enjoy the whole story and experience of 1.0 like everyone else. I'm still confused why they didn't implement position on a map feature. Even if you make it realistic-ish, you have to have the map in your inventory. He's talking about the in-game maps in Tarkov now, I realize. 2, it shows you large circles on where you spawned. A 4th or an 8th of the map will be a circle, and 3, you can focus on the map for 30 to 60 seconds to show your position more precisely. This system would be useless for players after about 5 to 10 hours in the map, but would be extremely useful for people who are in the map for the first time or when new expansion is added. It could also show circles on a map where you extracts and after quests, similar to the way military does since we are PMCs. Great idea. 10 out of 10. This is a great idea, great comment. Thank you for leaving such a in-depth comment. I'm really glad that you took so much away from this video to leave such a long comment. I do agree though, for the people that are still new to the game, having the map actually be a bit more useful other than just a piece of paper with like nothing written on it, and for you to figure things out on your own. Yes, I know Tarkov is supposed to be hardcore. Yes, I know it's supposed to be realistic, but you know, there's a better way to implement this while keeping that hardcore and realistic feeling. And as he said in here, I think he has a few good ideas that maybe could just be roughed out a little bit more. This next comment comes from Amber. I don't know the rest of that, but I'm not even going to try. But Amber, I understand what you said about Tarkov, Stalker, and Metro being Russian-ish games, but please, Stalker and Metro are Ukrainian games and settings, not Russian. I think you meant more Eastern European settings. Other than that, good vid. I do agree. There's very few games that give you adrenaline pumps like Tarkov or the old OG DayZ. Never played DayZ. I would be interested in playing it because I've seen a lot of videos on it from like Sour Sweet and stuff like that, and the game looks fun. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing in that game, so you know, I think I'll play that game once I know people that are playing the game as well, because ain't no way in hell am I trying to fucking learn that game all on my own, bro. I'm good. As for what he said here, I felt the need to kind of jump in and say something back because Stalker and Metro are both games that I am... Stalker, not so much, but Metro is a game I'm very familiar with. I know that Metro was developed by the same people that developed the OG Stalker games. So they just split and made their own company and developed Metro off of their experience making Stalker. So I had to say, Metro is set in Russia, and I would know because I've played all 3 games of Metro. They all take place in Russia, and I even did a quick Google search just to double check, but yes, the game is set in Russia. Other than that though, yes, the developers behind both games are based in Ukraine. I do know that. I didn't point that out in like the moment in the video. I also didn't think it was really important to distinguish that fact. But yes, Stalker is set in Ukraine because it takes place from the Chernobyl nuclear accident. So, you know, that goes 2 and 2 together. It just didn't process in the moment as I was recording the video. And this next comment comes from xmappa4677. Tarkov survived because it is a great game, and most of the criticism is from people that are willing to detach themselves from reality in order to nurture a victim complex where they have been wronged by big bad BSG. You might be onto something with that. I don't know if it's that deep though, but you could be right. I'm not going to say you aren't, because there are I mean, come on, bro. We know this community by now. As someone that has had EOD since 2018, I have to point out that PvE is not DLC. DLC is an expansion to the game. Is DLC and expansions not the same thing? And PvE is a different game. It's a different game mode. It's still the same exact game. We're still playing the same exact game here. Just one is completely against environment and not real players. That is not an opinion, that is an objective fact. DLC is scav life and extra maps like Suburban Town. These would add to the game within the game. However, I do want to point out, the pre-sales for Escape from Tarkov on Steam just went live today. And, oh, what's this down here? PvE Zone is under the DLC section. So by BSG's definition, not my definition, they consider PvE to be DLC. So it's DLC. Hey man, they said it, not me. A few extra raids worth of gear is not pay to win. That's why people hoard good gear. They die with it anyways. I don't think this is true, because, I mean, let's just take a look at the things you get when you start on a standard account, which is just like nothing.
Bro, the amount of space you get is only like a scav junk box. That's it. Holy fuck.
And then the things you get when you start on the Unheard Edition account, where you get a scav case, a weapon case, a damn near meta fucking scar, just for some examples. In comparison to what you would get on the standard account versus what you get on the Unheard account, I'm pretty sure it's a little pay to win there. The gear you get is literally just better. They die with it anyways. You can be killed by a naked guy with a really shitty shotgun if he's cunning enough. Hell, if you want more gear, play a scav. Get out, slap the gear that you like on your PMC, sell everything else. If you make 300k, give yourself 150k budget to improve your kit. Now you have a completely free kit of decent gear. He's not wrong about that. You know, that's completely valid. That's kind of the way you're supposed to do it on your scav, you know, in terms of how you turn your scav raids into money and stuff like that. So, you know, you're 100% right about that. And yes, absolutely, can be killed by a naked Timmy with a really shitty shotgun if he is cunning enough. That's just Tarkov. Even the most experienced Tarkov players and some of the best in the game will still die to a random Timmy if they just get lucky. That's just the nature of the game, man. When you talk about new features being buggy as if they haven't been playtested, you forget that you knowingly signed up to playtest them. This part is true. To be honest, I think just in everyone's minds, because Tarkov has been out for so long, the game basically feels like a complete state as it is, especially since BSG does these wipes every, you know, like every 6 months roughly, and they still do these in-game events and stuff like that. The game is kind of treated as a full release game, despite the full release being like 2 days from now. So the game just kind of has that like feel to being a complete game. The game features have been ready for pretty much a long time, other than the stuff that they were implementing over the last like 2 years, right? Like obviously they're still adding new features and stuff, but like overall, the complete feel of the game has been there the entire time. But yeah, you know, the game has been in beta, so you know, we did sign up to playtest them. You're not wrong. I will take the L on that. People complain about Tarkov issues that if it's a game that was finished 9 years ago, and it is ridiculous. Like I said, the game has just had that complete feel to it forever, and people play the game like it's a complete game at this point. So people just kind of overlooked it, I think. But you know, I see your point, and I see where you're coming from, and am I disagreeing with you? No. In fact, I think you're right about some of this. This next comment is from Patrick1174. Tarkov's PvE is better than PvP. No one wants to admit it. Lamau, no, it's not. Tarkov is the greatest game ever created, and the PvP is incredible. Nothing comes close. I'm max level in PvE, and it's lame as fuck after like 2 weeks. Well, I mean, shit, bro, you cared about PvE enough to get to max level, so it was fun enough for you, I guess. As for PvE being better than PvP, this is all subjective. Again, I don't know why we need to go at each other's throats for stuff like this. It's all subjective, man. If you think PvP is better, that's fine. Go play PvP, bro. No one is stopping you. Paul2285, not sworn with cheaters. Okay, thanks, bro. Thanks for the comment. Appreciate you. Thanks for pushing the algo. And the next comment is from Teensy Fiend. Good video, but bad topic. The game's never been in the worst state. Can't wait for the Steam review bomb. I did go into a little bit of a discussion here, and I do think it's just, I think it just depends on the lens you view Tarkov under. I don't disagree that Tarkov's in a rough state, but I also can't ignore the other positives I see within the game. And for me, what I'm saying is that this all comes down to perspective. Again, everything about Tarkov and everything in between and, you know, your personal feelings, these are all subjective. I'm talking about my opinions here. I'm not saying anything that I'm saying in these videos are factually correct. Ultimately, I made that last video just throwing my opinions out into the void, and somehow the void responded back. And the last comment from FatRat92. Honestly, Escape from Tarkov is a disappointment. The game was supposed to be an MMO FPS, but unfortunately now we got this extraction shooter nonsense. It really could have been so much more than it is now. Well, I mean, have we taken a look at the development cycle of Tarkov over the last 9 years? From the start, Tarkov was a very ambitious idea. And if you heard from Nikita's interview yesterday, BSG started as a dev team of 5 to 6 people. 5 to 6 people started this idea on the game that we currently have now. Bro, do you know how hard it is to really make a game like that they were aiming to make? And granted, as far as I'm aware, Nikita still plans on developing Russia 2028, which would be fucking fire, by the way, because I imagine they have learned a lot about game development since starting Tarkov. And ultimately, it sounds like Tarkov isn't really the game for you, and that's okay. There's plenty of other great MMOs out there. Granted, no game exactly like Tarkov in terms of MMO FPS, but, you know, there's only so much you can do. There's other games like Arc Raiders, and maybe that'll be more up your alley, or there's other just simple MMO games like Final Fantasy XIV or WoW, you know? Either way, I hope you still find a game that you enjoy, that you can dive into and experience as much as the Tarkov community loves to experience Tarkov. And that's about all I really have for the video, guys. I really just wanted to go over and read the comments from my last video. And, you know, this is definitely a thing that, like, a more popular YouTuber would do. I have 200 subs. I'm nobody special, man. I know that. But, like, there was so much discussion in that comment section, way more than I was ever expecting, and so many more comments than I was ever expecting, that I felt like it would be fun for me to go over these comments and share my thoughts and opinions about them and, you know, going over them. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing what I had to say and sitting here yapping and rambling on about nonsense for like an hour. Actually, I've been recording for an hour, but this will be cut down to probably like 30 minutes knowing editing, you know, the magic of editing. Hopefully you guys see this video by like tomorrow. In theory, it should be up by then. If it's not, well, shit, I fucked up. And I hope all you guys are excited for Tarkov 1.0. I will be making, like I said earlier in the intro of the video, I will be making 1.0 content on PvE. I do want to dive into PvP content, but like I'm gonna wait a little bit because, to be honest with you, I'm not really in the mood to sit here and grind PvP. Tarkov is just so much more fun to me in PvE. So I'm going to be making PvE content, but eventually down the line, I probably will do a challenge of some sorts on making PvP content because I'll be starting to wipe away later than everybody else. You know, that'll be down the road, I think. But I definitely for sure am interested in trying PvP a little bit more because I haven't played PvP in about 4 years now. So I think it'd be fun to try and just give it a shot. You know, anyhow, though, you can find all of my links down in the description down below. You can find my Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Discord server. You know, follow any of the socials down below. I post on all of them somewhat regularly. And in the Discord server, I'm going to try and start doing some anime and movie nights. So if you guys are interested in that, then, you know, feel free to hit up the server and we'll figure some stuff out. Thank you guys for watching the video. And I think the next video will probably be a Tarkov 1.0 PvE video. So until the next video, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, morning, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. And yeah, till then, peace.